On this show, we cover some sensitive topics.
Though the obituaries may be outlandish, the people are real.
Names have been changed or omitted in order to respect both the deceased and the survived by.
While death is no laughing matter, some petty last words can provide some pretty entertaining comic relief.
Welcome to Obituary. Welcome back to Obituary. I'm Spencer Henry.
And I'm Madison Reyes. And we are your volunteer coroners.
We are here and actually, Madison, you are kind of a volunteer in the funerary world this morning. Tell everyone what you've been up to today.
I helped set up a funeral after party for a dear friend who lost somebody very special to them. So very sad, but everything looked really beautiful.
A very obituary appropriate day to do something like that.
Yeah, a very obituary morning. Yes.
I love it. We're the people you can count on to help set up your funeral after party.
Very true. Very, very true.
I felt like I needed a funeral. I felt dead after this past weekend. My sister and her husband came into town and they have my two nephews, Leo and Hank. And let me tell you, we've talked about it so many times on here. A toddler will just fucking do you in, man.
Do you in. It's so... shout out to all the parents out there.
Oh, yeah.
I could not even imagine. I love my nieces and nephews with everything in me. But being able to give them back...
It's a good feeling.
The best feeling. I saw something, though, that now women, I think it's like women from 25 to 40, don't quote me. Now we're the majority who don't have kids. It's like 52% or something don't have kids.
I feel like there's two windows. So I feel like it's something you either do when you're in your very early 20s. It's like, okay, I'm going to do it. But then I think you, me, and like a lot of people in our lives, I feel like we passed that window and then
a new window opens up.
A weird few years. And then everyone's kind of questioning, like, is that something I want to do? Is that something I don't want to do? Mm-hmm. I still go back and forth all the time. Like, I've always been certain throughout my life, like I want children, but now it's looking like child.
Yeah, no, same. And it is true. Like in my 20s, I mean, I still am in my 20s, but in my 20s,
you're actually about to hit your 16th year in your 20s.
I know, God. It's so funny though, because like, I don't know if it's just how you grow up or what, but I was like, oh yeah, we get married and then we buy a house and then we have kids. And it's like,
not in this economy.
Not in this economy. No, not at all. And then when I think about having kids, I'm like, I am a teenager. I don't want to be, I mean, I love a teen mom. That would be great to just get it, over with. And then in your 40s, like really fucking live your life.
Yeah.
But when I think about it, I'm like, I can't be a teen mom. Oh my God.
I know. It's hard to go from doing kind of whatever I want to do every day to having to be responsible for something every single day. It's like getting over that hump of like, okay, there's never a time you're ready for it, I feel. But
right.
Yeah. I'm like, God.
I know.
It's a lot.
I also don't like, I try not to subscribe to the school of thought of like, I'm not bringing a child into this world. Cause I'm like, yeah, but back in the 60s, they were doing drills for nuclear, I don't know. It's always going to be a fucked up time. That's just the world we live in.
This is depressing.
I know. Can I tell you what's not depressing?
Tell me.
You know this, but last week I went for a Botox appointment, got a little touch up on my forehead, and
looks great.
I had to have a parent with me because I'm under 18.
Yes.
But I clench my fucking jaw so much. And I didn't realize it until recently. Like, I will lay in bed at night and I'll have to go, this is going to be silent for the listeners, but I'm puffing up my face. I have to go like this while I'm laying in bed because it relieves pressure. Like, I didn't realize how much I was clenching. Then I started getting the videos for the masseter Botox. These are your masseter like muscles, and how people are like, either they're like, it gave me jowls, it's not worth it, or it's like, oh, it's life-changing and you get a slimmer face and whatever. So when I went, I was like, can I do that? Like, and so the doctor was like feeling around. He's like, clench. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, you have strong ones. Like, you'd be such a good candidate. And I have to tell you, you and I both get headaches all the time. Yours is, I feel like, because of like a lot of pressure, right? Like the atmosphere. I think I get them because I clench so much and I didn't even realize it. I haven't had a headache since.
Well, knock on wood.
I know. Knock on.
I love that.
This wood right here.
Knock on masseter, honey. You know what also is a big game changer for that is so I'm always on like a hunt for pillows because I notoriously hate a pillow. I will not. People are like, you're psychotic, because I'm like, I have, obviously, for visuals, I put, there's 3 pillows on each side of the bed, blah, blah, blah. Looks nice. But I get, horrible neck pain a lot. And so
You also probably sleep like a maniac. I know you sleep like a maniac. So a pillow or not, you're probably getting pain.
I don't know. I asked people for recommendations and everyone's like, okay, you got to do the Tempur-Pedic cloud pillows. And so that like mass majority were sending that as a recommendation. So I bought them and tried them. No neck pain. Feel great every single day. Even after like a workout where we're doing pull-ups or things that I feel like typically I get like a lot of like tightness from, I've not had any of that.
Wow. Okay.
I know.
Tempur-Pedic cloud pillow.
Yes. Tempur-Pedic cloud pillow.
And you can use code boopy boopy boo. No.
I wish I had a code for you guys for that. Maybe one day, but needed the sleep because, as I was saying, so my sister and her husband and the kids were in town this weekend, and as stressful as it is to have toddlers and stuff running around, it was so much fun because we did a lot of things that I probably wouldn't do as like an adult living here, or like when adults come and visit. We went to this one place called Cheekwood Estate, and it's beautiful. Like, there's like botanical gardens and like this big mansion you can go and tour, and we did. And it was really cool. And then we also went to the Nashville Zoo. I always see the signs for it, but I kind of pictured it to be more of like a little podunk zoo. I don't know. Like, I had no idea. It's beautiful, massive, cute, probably one of, if not the nicest zoos that I've ever been to.
Wow.
And there is a cemetery there.
Really?
So they have the family property there. It was like a plantation. So there's the family cemetery. And then I'd like to go deeper into a coffin spinner on it, but they found the bodies of like 19 enslaved individuals on the property. And they were on a different part of the grounds. I don't know who inherited it or what, but then they moved them next to the family's plot on the property. And there's like the little grave markers and stuff. But it was interesting because you're walking through the zoo and then all of a sudden there's like this little corded off area that's a full-on cemetery.
Wow. That's so interesting. I feel like we appreciate it so much more now after doing this show.
Oh, yeah.
Cemeteries and places you wouldn't think.
I know. I was like not gonna even like, I was tired, so I didn't even want to walk over to where it was. And then the champ was like, we have to go see the cemetery. And I was like, okay, you're right. And so we went over and saw it, and it was cool. But we also did a lot of not kid things. Like, we took them, like my whole family, down to Broadway.
Love it.
On a fucking Saturday night. Leo got handed drumsticks by one of the drummers. And so because you know how there's a bar in every window, everyone we walked past, the drummers were letting Leo like lean in the window and hit their drums.
My God, that was probably like the highlight of his life.
It was so cool. We were all like, "Oh my god, okay, love this, love it." There's no kids down there, really, so it was. I think a lot of people were just like, "Oh hell yeah!" Like I'm gonna let this kid hit my drums, and that was so much fun. But yeah, it was just crazy weekend.
Crazy weekend, and then this weekend you get a little break.
Alone time. The champ's going to LA actually for a funeral as well. So it's just funeral centric over here this week.
I know. Everyone's passing away.
Everyone's passing. And I'm going to pass it over to you. Do you have a listener email or anything of the sort this week?
Oh, I sure do. And you know what? It fits in because after you pass, hopefully you have a will or a living will or a trust or, something like that. And this listener email is all about that. It says, "Hey, my name is Riley. You can use my name. I've written in before many years ago about an MLM, and I've been a listener since y'all came to Spotify. And I've been a listener of Cult Leader since the dawn of time as well."
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I wanted to write in about something very cool that happened to me last month. So my parents just recently set up their wills, and my sister, 39, and I, 25, had to tag along to know what our parents would want when they pass. Recently, they had another appointment with the person setting this all up, and my sister and I didn't have to go, but I had already been with them, so decided to tag along anyway. My parents were signing the part of the living will for when it comes down to medical, who can make the decisions, what to do if they are terminal, the works. Well, it gets to the point of what they would like to be done with their bodies after death. My mom instantly marked she didn't want her body or organs to be donated in any capacity because she is so fearful of having cancerous cells in her organs. We have a sad family history of cancers. And so she didn't want her organs donated in case they missed a cancerous cell. Oh, that's such like a sweet thought, even though it's
admirable.
Morbid. Yeah, totally. Well, I asked if she was sure and informed her about how she can actually donate to science. And if she does have cancerous cells, they can learn from it. And there is a spot on the paperwork for strictly donating to science and not to be used in another human's body. She asked me more and more since she was now very interested in what she could potentially do to further medical science. She loves to help, and I knew if she understood what she could do, she would 100% want to. I was worried that I was influencing her decision, but the lady who was putting all this together, I forgot what the term is for her job position, told me I was simply informing my mother of her options, and my mom made the decision on her own to donate to science.
Yay!
I know! My mom later asked if I knew all of this because of the podcast I listened to. This one, duh. And I told her it was. So in short, I really want to thank you guys for giving me the education and knowledge to help my mom make a decision I know she would be happy with till her time. And I want to also thank you for helping make this experience much easier to cope with. I know they aren't dead, nor will they be anytime soon, fingers crossed, but I didn't cry yet at the meetings, and I feel very comfortable, all thanks to your podcast and the wonderful things you talk about. Aw. This part is for y'all mainly, but can be read on the pod if you see fit. I did recently lose my grandpa, and that did take a toll on me, but I feel it would have been much, much worse on me if it wasn't for your podcast and who you two are as people. Just talking us up. I love it. The topics help, of course, but I really do believe it's you two that help the most. Your carefree but still highly respectful way of talking about such topics is the real charm. Anyway, I love the pod, love you guys and the pups, and I'm forever thankful for it all. Cult Leader and Obituary are the only podcasts I can listen to, and I wouldn't have it any other way. A forever loyal Geoff and Cult Babe.
Riley,
that was so well written, if I do say so myself.
Ugh, I loved all of it. I'm sorry for the loss of your grandfather, but I think what's cool is that your parents are doing exactly what they should be doing. And that is setting up this trust and this living will and making sure that it's a much smoother transition when the time comes. I think there's all this fear always that, oh, if I make a will or if I set up my estate, something's going to happen to me. That's not the case. It's just paperwork at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That makes it easier for everyone and anyone. I have my affairs in order, and I have no qualms about what that will look like, what it'll change. And obviously you go through different things in life. Like I'm getting married in September, so I'm going to have to update all of my paperwork. Or when we have a child, I'm going to have to update my will and all of that. But it's just making it a smoother experience for everyone. And it's making what will inevitably be a really hard time that much easier.
Totally. And coming from two dumbasses, knowledge is power. Okay. Knowledge really is power. And look at you empowered your family to make wonderful decisions. And I'm so happy.
It's truly the best. Like anytime we get somebody that reaches out and is like, I did this because of the show, or I learned about this because of the show, or my parent went with this because I learned about it on the show. Those are like the best fucking things, because I'm like, I know we're clowns and say what you want, but I feel like truly our purpose has turned into wanting to share, of course, all the fun stuff, but also be like, hey, it's not this big fucking deal to figure out what to do with your body, whatever. Like here are the options.
Yeah.
It's just like anything else. We have to make decisions every single day of our lives. Better safe than sorry, because both of us have had instances. I've had plenty where people didn't organize things. My mom did, thank God.
Yeah.
But like I've had other family members and other instances where it's just turned into a big fucking mess when somebody dies because they weren't prepared.
Yeah. And it's like something, I was talking about this the other day. I'm like, in school, this should be taught. And like,
yes,
I was like, you know, when you turn 18 and you have to start doing your own taxes, right? Like my parents would help a little bit, but then in my 20s, it was like, all right, well, I know how to fucking play the clarinet, but I don't know how to do my taxes, you know? And it's same with this. It's like such a daunting thing. There's so many unknowns, but it's really more simple than you think. It's just a morbid thing to think of. Like, I do think it should be taught in school to have your affairs in order. And it's funny because I talked to my dad about this and I'm like, you're getting up there in age. I hope you still have 20 years in you, but let's be real. Like we don't know. And I'm like, what do you want done? I think I've talked about this before on the show. I'm like, what do you want done to your body? And he's like, oh, I don't care, like whatever. But yeah, I know you don't care and I don't have an issue with that, but there's 5 siblings. What if one of us is opposed to something? Or
yeah, you need to state what you want. You can't just leave it up. Like, don't just tell your partner either. Get it in writing what you want done, because things change, people all of a sudden freak out and can't remember, wait, did they say they want this or did they want this?
Oh, if something happens to me, you're in charge, and that's on camera, because I know Cisco will be I mean, not to toot my own horn, but he'll be a shell of himself.
He's gonna be like this. He'll be swinging your wig around like ding dong, do it today. No one's gonna tell me how to decorate my house anymore.
Oh, God.
I'll be a shell of a person. Are you kidding me? But I'll be.
You'll
you know
switch
I'm
into the mode, yeah.
You know I'm good in high stress situations. I'll be like, she want to fix her fucking nails right now. Get down to Marshall's, get the glamnetic nails, and get some extra glue.
No,
okay?
not glamnetic.
Oh, you switched.
I switched because I remember I posted a picture of them and like tagged Glamnetic and was like, love them. And I thought maybe they'd be like delusional. I thought maybe they'd repost it or say like, oh, let's send you some. And they're like, hey, we're having a Memorial Day sale. You can get 10% off or something. And I was like,
oh,
okay.
Cut. You're out of here.
You're out of here. So now we go with a different brand.
Who was that brand we used to do ads for all the time? Olive and June.
They were great. I really loved their
them.
stuff.
Loved their whole team. Remember we used to get on calls with them?
They were so nice. Glamnetic they have beautiful nails and good quality and they do stick, but I just thought I was a bigger deal.
No, you know what it is? I was talking about this to someone else recently. It's the way that influencing has the landscape of it has changed, because it used to be like you build a little following and like you show people what you like and like what you don't. Now everything's an advertisement, and
I know.
And TikTok ruined all of it.
Ruined it all.
You know what happened is I used to have brands reach out a lot for things. Or if I could tag someone in something, they'd be like, can we send you? I'm like, yeah, send me. I loved it. But then what changed is the influencer landscape, because everyone became famous on TikTok and everyone had a following, and they'd be like, can I come stay at your hotel and blah, blah, blah. And then wouldn't get the ROI from these people. And so then they just stopped doing it. It ruined it for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
You know who always reaches out to me is, well, you just saw that Patriot shirt company. 1776 shirts.
Yes.
And it's always like man company. Like it'll be like meat in a box, or it'll be like beef jerky companies. And I'm like, I don't think I have the followers that you think I have. Like, I'm for the girls.
Honey, you're for the girls. You're also for the animals, and don't eat me.
I'm for the animals, yeah.
The one and only company that ever reached out to me was like a Gushers company or something. It was like promote our. It wasn't Gushers, but you know, it was like some like chewy.
Girl, I'd be like, get that Gushers money.
Oh, honey, I would be up on the camera like, wow.
Okay, wait. Let's do a little manifesting. Dream collab. Who would you love to work with? Just one company, one brand.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Okay. Love that. I'm going to say Triscuit. Yeah. I would love to do something with Triscuits. So if you work for Hidden Valley or Triscuits, we would love to talk.
Love to talk. I'm also thinking of something else that I love. I love cookie dough. Toll House,
call us toll free. Okay, we've got to move on, Madison, because we just keep talking about ourselves and we sound like a bunch of assholes.
Oh, a bunch of assholes. Let's hear it.
Okay, this first one says, am I the asshole for not going to the funeral of someone I have never met? Nope.
Yeah, no.
It says, I'm 26 now, and between the ages of 17 and 24, I lost both of my parents, 3 out of my 4 siblings, 1 aunt, and 2 uncles. Jesus.
Fuck.
Can you imagine?
Just have a better attitude.
Have a better outlook on life, diva. All of these were unrelated, but because of this, I hate going to funerals. Understandably so.
Warranted, yes.
I will attend if it is a close family member or friend, but would rather not attend otherwise. I have been with my girlfriend for 2 years, and my girlfriend's best friend recently lost her mom, and my girlfriend has been trying to support her. The funeral is next week, and my girlfriend said she was going to support her friend. She asked if I would attend with her, but I apologized and said I'd rather not, and she knows why I don't like funerals, so I reminded her, but still she asked again. She said it would mean a lot and she doesn't want to go on her own. I refused again and suggested she take another friend, but she said she wanted me there. And I said, it's awful what happened to her friend, but I cannot go to that funeral. She said I was being unsupportive and it'll only be an hour or 2 out of the day, but I just repeated again, I'm not going, and she knows why. She just said again that I was unsupportive and that I should be there with her. So am I the asshole for refusing to go to the funeral?
I don't think you're the asshole, because you have your reasons and you have your boundaries. But I do think when your girlfriend is saying, hey, I really need you there, do you think that you can be there? Maybe you can go, or at least try to compromise. Like, hey, I cannot be at the ceremony, but I will be at the after party. Or, but I don't know. I'm like,
everyone has their different things, and until you've lived this person's experience of all that loss, 3 out of 4 siblings, their parents, like
that's
extended
true.
family members, like I feel like it's hard to. I empathize with the writer, but I also feel like sometimes you have to set your own uncomfortability aside in order to be a supportive partner. That said, I don't think anyone's in the wrong here. I think the girlfriend doesn't feel supported in that moment. And that's true and real for her. And then I think this person's like really triggered and has a lot of trauma related to funerals.
Yeah.
And so I don't think anyone's an asshole.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's an asshole. I think that's a tough one.
It's tough. Yeah. Okay, this next one says, am I the asshole for not going to my uncle's funeral? My uncle passed, sadly, over a long battle of cancer, and I am not going to the funeral. I live on the West Coast and my extended family live in Europe, so that is one factor. But the other factor is that I distanced myself from that side of the family a long time ago as no one seems to acknowledge my marriage. I'm gay, if there's more context there.
I already know that.
The last 7 years or so, they've said they miss me and everything. But it's always been really hard for me to go back to a setting where I just know everyone only cares for the version of me they had before finding my partner, if that makes sense. And if I ever did go down, I would have to not mention anything about my partner, not wear my ring on my finger to hide it from my grandparents who still don't know, as requested by family. So I've made the effort over the years to not travel to see my extended family. I am seemingly the only one on that side of the family who's not involved to protect myself from being hurt again like I was many years ago. But now, of course, everyone is going to be there except me. I have been guilt tripped on pretty much every phone call I've made to my family members, basically giving my condolences. I do think if I was closer geographically, I probably would toughen it up and go, but all the factors together, the distance, marriage, social anxiety, having to hide my life, fear of getting hurt, etc., all compounded make me not want to go, which of course I still feel guilty for. Would love any insight. Thank you.
Not the asshole. I think his family wants him to show up, but it's not really him. It's a version of him that they're comfortable with. No, I don't think so. Also, I don't know if this is controversial, but like gay is the new straight. It's like not a big deal.
Wow.
Like, no, we can cut that. No, we can cut that. But like,
no,
you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. It's not a big deal. It's it's so much more socially accepted now.
Or like when people, I'm just saying that as far as like when people say like, oh, but they're old, that generation. No, fuck
Girl,
that.
fuck them. Yeah. Don't go and don't feel guilty about not going. But think about this. Would any of them come to your wedding?
Bloop.
Probably not.
Yeah,
you're not coming to my wedding. I'm not going to your funeral.
Yeah.
How about that?
Sorry, Uncle Bigot.
Yeah, bitch.
Bitch, actually.
Hey, speaking of bitches, I'm up first this week, which means you should have a little side bitch for us.
I do, and it's cute.
Ooh.
It's old, but it's cute. This is from the Beverly Times, 1920.
Ooh.
Obituary of a jellyfish.
Oh.
I know. One jellyfish, at least, became world famous, and when she died, after living for 67 years in the most intellectual society under the protection of 5 successive learned gentlemen, she received the honor of an obituary notice in the Scotsman. Granny belonged to the jellyfish family, but was, strictly speaking, a sea anemone, whom Sir John Graham Delliel, that's probably not how you say that, Delliel, picked off the rocks and kept in seawater all the days of his life. Sir John fed his protege regularly with 1/2 mussel a fortnight, and she bore a larger family. Which I'm like, okay, well then who's she fucking?
They can, I think, reproduce.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, cool. The Scotsman in memoriam notice stated that 600 of Granny's offspring were known. Damn. When Sir John, she was fucking herself, girl. She was getting busy.
We all are.
When Sir John, I was brushing my teeth on the phone with you today with my electric toothbrush, and you're like, oh, what, are you fucking whacking one off?
Because I just heard we were talking, and then it was just like,
I'm like, yeah. You were like, is your foot on the toilet? Just like
going to town. Girl, I've seen, remember you had to throw your dolphin away?
Yeah, because it said it was waterproof. I put it in the bathtub, and it fucking
gave her the shock of a lifetime.
Yeah, I wish.
Hasn't felt anything since between that and Lexapro, honey.
Honey, I'm going to need a whale next time. A shark. Not a little dolphin.
A jellyfish.
Honey, I'm going to need Granny to fuck me. Woo!
Woo!
No, where was I? I'm reading an obituary, okay?
Oh,
Have
sorry.
some respect.
600 children.
600.
And I believe you said, damn, she was fucking herself.
Okay. When Sir John died, his anemone was passed on to an Arctic explorer. And at his death, she was bequeathed to another scientific man. Granny throve and bred little ones. She outlived 4 protectors. And then get this is sad. She died finally because of the neglect or ill treatment of a botanist.
Oh, I didn't know you could have a jellyfish in captivity like that.
Well, this is from 1920, and it also said a sea anemone. So I think it's a species of jellyfish, but I don't think it's like the jellyfish we think of. Isn't a sea anemone like a
creature of the sea, I believe. I'm no marine biologist. I just play one. But I looked up, yes, and jellyfish. I did go to the zoo recently, babe. Okay. He's been to the zoo. Jellyfish can reproduce using both sexual and asexual methods, which I think is
beautiful.
Backs my claim. I love that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That is cool. Lovely. Love an obituary for a jellyfish. A first on our show.
I know. Breaking
news. You heard it here. Jellyfish are asexual.
Ooh.
Where's their pride parade?
Okay. There's a flag.
The jelly flag?
No, the asexual.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. Whack off.
Spank our monkeys.
But that's on our obituary OnlyFans. And when we come back, I'm going to tell you what had me absolutely spinning in my coffin this week, Madison.
Okay, Spencer Henry.
We'll be right back.
And we're back. Spencer, what had you spinning, darling?
Well, girl, I was wigging out in my coffin this week.
I don't have a wig on today.
Oh, you don't?
No.
I just realized. Wait, did you cut your hair?
I had to trim it because it was just strings.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Alert. You heard it here. Madison you do be wearing a wig sometimes.
Most of the time.
But
yeah,
we love it.
We love it.
You can't even tell.
You know, I was looking at toppers too. I might.
Poppers, yes.
Oh, honey, I love a popper. Just kidding. I've never done it.
Me either.
Really? Huh? That's.
I know.
Oh, well, duh. You're sober.
I never never had the opportunity. Anyway, I learned all about the history of wig snatching this week, and it's very obituary eccentric, so don't fret. Yeah, girl.
How is this obituary?
Okay, so I was trying to find this one particular dumb criminal. I'd like taken when you like take a random screenshot of something, you're like, oh, I'm gonna fucking save that for obituary or whatever. Mm-hmm. I found it, but I couldn't find the news story, so I was looking for it. Next thing you know, I stumble upon this incredible article from Atlas Obscura, one of our faves, and they talked about there was a whole article about wig snatching in the 18th century. And girl, I was cracking up because it's so shady.
Oh my God.
So salacious and so good. The methods that people used to snatch other people's wigs back in the day were so contrived, so crazy. Apparently, there was like a phenomenon where people would put little boys or whatever, little kids, in baskets. All right.
Okay.
They'd cover them up with a blanket, walk along the street. They'd walk past someone with a wig. The little boy would reach their hand out of the basket, grab the person's wig, and pull it under the blanket.
Why? What?
To get their wig.
Oh, so but wait, why did people snatch wigs?
We'll get into all of it.
Okay. Oh my God.
So they were snatching wigs off people's heads. It was a hot commodity. In an edition of the Hairdresser's Journal from May of 1863, they wrote that 100 tons of hair was being sold each year in Parisian markets. So it's like a big fucking deal. It's worth money. They compared it to silver.
Yeah.
And there's a good documentary. I'll try and remember what it was, but they talked about kind of the fucked up history of the hair world.
Good Hair, I think it's called. I think I've seen it.
Was it Chris Rock?
Chris
Did he
Rock,
do
yeah.
that one? And then just because I used to be in that world, right? And people would go to other countries sometimes, even in recent years and probably still now, and take advantage of the poor. There's places where churches will be like, donate us your hair. And then they'll take the hair and sell them as wefts to other countries.
You're like Reverend Father. Father, why do you have a 22-inch fucking bust down?
Father, why is it laid? But this happened back then too. Not so much for donation, but they would go to these little towns in Italy. If it was a town, like they're really poor there. They're starving. They're so hungry. They'll do anything. And so they would pay the people for their hair. They would literally be like, we're cutting off all your hair and we're going to pay you for it because you need the money and we want the fucking hair. Northern Italy and Spain were like the biggest hotspots for that because they had just beautiful, like thick, glossy hair. And they were like, we want it. But throughout history, people have been robbed in the streets, sometimes just grabbed and their hair chopped off.
Oh my God.
So creepy to me. And I think of Creepy Thin Man from Charlie's Angels.
Yes, or I think of Sour Patch Kids.
Oh yeah, little bitches. That's what we call hot dog, is a Sour Patch Kid.
Oh.
So the champ calls her because sometimes sweet, sometimes sour. But the girl knows what she wants and when she wants it.
And she knows how to do it.
She knows how to do it. I read one story, I guess in New Zealand, in Wellington, New Zealand, back in the day. There was a hair thief in 1914 running around just snatching people's hair from their head. And my personal fave was reading in that Atlas Obscura article, they talked about how people would employ monkeys to go steal wigs from people and then like bring the wigs to them. I have a quote from that article. It says, quote, in addition to using monkeys, wig thieves also employed dogs. One boy would harass a finely dressed, bewigged gentleman as another seized the hair and tossed it to a dog, explains Margaret Visser in The Way We Are, What Everyday Objects and Conventions Tell Us About Ourselves. All three would split down different alleys and later meet up to celebrate their plunder. Meanwhile, the bald victims would often be more concerned about covering his head and pride than running after the thieves.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah.
Girl.
If somebody snatched my wig off my head
while you're just out. The same article went on to say, quote, the social elite in both France and England also had to beware of the highwaymen who roamed country roads. Thieves known as chiving lays would lurk behind hackney coaches, which were forced to roll slowly down narrow and poorly paved streets, and slice the back of the carriage to snatch a wig from the passenger's head, explains Jerry Walton. Highwaymen riding on horses would also target coaches, stealing wigs and quickly riding off. So you're just in your coach, girl, like, we got to go slow here because of all the cobblestone. And then a hand reaches from the back. Now you're bald.
There needs to be a movie about this.
Wig snatching? There does. Wig snatching became such a big deal that it accounted for a large percentage of theft cases back in the day, and it got to be so common as a problem that wig makers had to start installing little chin straps so that people would stop stealing the wigs.
Not a chin strap. Fuck.
Girl, I mean, imagine though, you're just walking like, we would have had some wigs back in the day.
Beautiful, yeah.
1700s, 1800s, we'd be powdered. It's mine.
Walking, gossiping.
It's mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd have our gossip spread on being paraded through town, and then this fucking monkey comes and grabs our wigs.
Or dog. Oh my, or
God.
baby.
Okay, so I have
fuck?
some newspaper examples about wig thievery that I wanted to share.
Hell yeah.
One is from the Wisconsin State Journal from Tuesday, May 17th, 1966, and it says, City's wig thief strikes again.
1966?
1966.
Oh my God.
It's a never-ending epidemic.
Oh, God.
Quote, a wig thief hit Madison again early Monday, stealing about $2,000 retail worth of them in a break-in at Sears, Roebuck and Company, 1101 East Washington Ave, police reported. Detective James Heisler said the thief entered the store by prying open double doors on an Ingersoll Street entrance to the store, while a store employee was guarding the parking lot opposite side of the store where merchandise had been set out for a sidewalk sale Monday. The thief stole an $18.99 blue suitcase, apparently to use in carting out the 14 wigs, and also pried open a cigarette machine from which about $22 in change was stolen, Heisler said. Last month, 600 wigs valued at $15,000 wholesale were stolen from Richard's Beauty Salon at 2518 East Washington Avenue.
Damn.
And then there was another one from the year before in 1965 from the Wellsville Daily Reporter that said, wig thief, Indianapolis, Indiana. Margaret Williams, 27, told police a man and a woman snatched her $150 dark auburn wig from her head Wednesday night and fled in a car.
No.
The last one that I have is from the State Journal Register, Monday, August 1st, 1966, which just was the fucking year, I guess, of wig thievery. It says, quote, hair-raising theft reported. A wig thief may find himself facing charges of grand theft after a hair-raising incident in the early morning hours Sunday, according to a Sangamon County Sheriff's deputy. Deputies were called to investigate a complaint at Curly's nightclub on Wabash Avenue at 2:37 a.m. Sunday. Mrs. Kay Richardson, a customer at the club, told investigating officers that a strange male grabbed the wig off her head and escaped in a yellow Ford automobile. Oh. Mrs. Richardson said she had borrowed the wig from a friend and it was valued at $350.
Wow, expensive.
Mm-hmm. You know, I remember my grandparents had this like amazing closet at their house. And in the center there, she had a few falls.
Love.
You just clip them in and give you that extra.
Classy woman.
Now, obviously on this show, I have to tie it in. So we've talked a lot about body snatching on the show and grave robbers. So it's no surprise that in addition to a lot of the items we typically think about being stolen, like the jewelry or sometimes teeth we've talked about, they were taking people's hair too.
Oh, that's foul. You're going to steal a wig off a dead body.
Girl, sometimes their hair from their head.
What do you mean? Like they'd shave it or cut it off?
Yep. Imagine you are resting in peace, okay? And next thing you know, you're bald, bitch. Or you go to visit grandma's grave. Maybe you want to have a little famadi on her or something. She's in there. You pull her out, Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean. Stone Cold Steve Austin on these posts. Yeah.
I stumbled upon another great article from Belfast Media, and they had a little nod to this, writing, quote, the Belfast Telegraph, March 2nd, 1910, suggested there were many highly organized body snatching gangs, often contracted in effect by anatomists, with payment of a retaining fee at the opening of the season, finishing money at its close, and payment for each body. For small bodies of children less than 3 feet, so much per inch was paid. This is just regarding regular body snatching. If the person was caught, the medical staff provided payments to the families and a gratuity to the body snatcher upon release. The article, which I thought that was interesting, that the body snatcher is getting paid regardless.
Right.
The article states, receipts for the year 1810 and 1811 for one resurrectionist were found to be 1,328 guineas for body snatching, exclusive of small children's and teeth. Teeth and long hair were often removed from the bodies and sold separately to wig makers and dentists to make rudimentary false teeth applications for well-to-do clients. The trade in teeth and hair from cadavers was a lucrative sideline for resurrectionists.
Wow.
So there was like this whole underground wig trade happening. And I just think it's so fucking crazy because we've talked about body snatching and grave robbing in so many different capacities in so many different areas. I feel like it's something we refer back to all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I never thought, damn, they could be going in there taking their hair too.
Yeah, that is crazy.
That is what had me spinning in my coffin this week.
Wow. I think that's one of my favorites.
I was wigging out.
The thought of that. You know what we should do is we should put wigs on next time we're together and have a snatching competition. See who can. Have you seen those? People put them on and they'll like bob and weave and like you got to try to snatch our wig.
I think we should in person separate, take turns walking down the street, grabbing the wigs, or maybe get our dogs in a competition. Put hot dog in a basket.
Well, or we have wigs for our dogs.
We do.
Could snatch them off them.
I need to find, I don't know where Hot Dog's ponytail is. I know she has a blonde ponytail.
She has a good one. Yeah.
Remember?
Erica Jane
loved it.
Yeah.
So I got to find that. That was when she was like an
God.
LA girl. Now I feel like she'd probably have like I don't know, different.
Maybe
I
like
gotta get her
curls.
like a homesteading wig.
Oh, yeah. Maybe like a little bonnet, you know?
Love.
Churn and butter.
She's like, I'm getting my sourdough starter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
she'll never be that. That's just not her.
She has such an attitude. Hot Dog is a bob girl, like through and through.
Yes.
For sure, she has a bob.
A cunty one. Little cunty bob.
Every 3 weeks, she's in the salon. Mm-hmm. And they're
blunt.
won't let the assistant blow it out.
No.
Hot Dog's the kind of client where she like puts her head down and like shakes it herself with the blow dryer. You know what I mean? She's like, I'll do it.
Yeah. Yep.
Always looks good.
God, Shoonie girl.
Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, Madison's going to tell us what had her spinning in her coffin this week.
Perfect.
We'll be right back. And we're back. Madison, what had you spinning in your coffin this week?
All right. So maybe I have some kind of foot fetish or something because a few episodes ago, we talked about missing limbs, specifically legs. But today I want to focus on feet.
You did a whole episode about those shoes and feet washing up on shore, remember?
That's true. I've got a problem.
Okay, Madison Tarantino's here, everyone.
Oh, God, what a creep. Okay, but not in the way you'd think. I'm not talking about feet, really. But okay. Girl. I want to get into a very simple yet incredibly effective little invention that really transformed dead bodies and the way we prep them and look after them, and that is the toe tag. Love the toe tag.
A telltale sign somebody's dead is when they have one of those suckers on.
Yeah, I mean sometimes people get toe tagged then wake up in the morgue, you know? Mm-hmm. You never know. But and I'm sure most of you know what I'm talking about. I feel like it's just something, you know.
This is obituary.
Hello, okay? This is the toe tag. This is the little tag that's tied with a string to a dead person's big toe. But I was thinking, I'm like, well, what if someone doesn't have a big toe?
Valid,
right? Or even a foot. And so when the big toe isn't available, sometimes it's attached to an ankle or to a wrist sometimes.
Or they just use one of those clothing tag guns and just
stick
it in the thigh.
Or just like around a person's neck like a choker.
Why not?
Or
hide it. Fun surprise. It's behind the mouth sutures. It's in their mouth.
Or I was thinking a different hole.
Oh.
But, you know.
But.
Who knows? But, B-U-T-T. Either way, it's a physical ID label, and it usually has the name. It has a case number if, like, legal stuff is involved, authorities are involved, a date of death, and sometimes, like, physical indicators, like height, weight. You better lie about it on mine. Hair color, eye color,
This
all
girl
those.
was 30 pounds with 30 inches of natural red hair. No wrinkles.
Pre-wig snatch. Masseter muscles like you've never seen.
Slimmest face on this side of the Mississippi.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. But I was reading about the toe tag. I'm like, oh, this is like a corpse's driver's license or like passport.
Truly. Or no, you know what? It's like a luggage tag.
Totally. And truly, it's like our bodies are just our luggage, our soul's luggage.
Merch idea. Let's come out with our own luggage tags.
Our own toe tags.
Our own toe tags for your luggage, though.
Yeah.
That are obituary themed.
Cute. Okay. Marking that down. I do love that. I love that a lot. But yeah, you think about all of the journeys that a body takes from the death bed or location of death to maybe a hospital, maybe a morgue, then a funeral home, then whether they're going to be going to the graveyard or the crematorium. Takes a lot of journeys. I watched a little video from the Houston Museum of Natural Science, and they actually have probably the oldest toe tag. Most of the time when I say toe tag, I'm talking about a literal toe tag, but they kind of started out a little differently and like evolved. Like I don't think these were specifically on somebody's toe. They have one from roughly 2,000 years ago on display. And the person showing us in the video was saying, and as we Geoffs know this, or we should know this by now, that the mummification process takes quite a while. It can take a few weeks or months. And sometimes there were multiple bodies at a time being mummified. In ancient Egypt in 30 BCE, this is like around Mark Antony and Cleopatra time, the Romans were coming to conquer Egypt. So the people doing the mummifications were like, well, fuck, we have all these bodies and they're not completely mummified yet. Like we need to identify them. So on display at that museum, there's this little wooden toe tag. It's pretty big. It's like on wood though. I'd say, I don't know, maybe the size of a cell phone. But I bring the Romans up because it's written in Greek, like not in ancient Egyptian, because the Romans were coming to conquer. So the ancient Egyptians may be the actual originators of the toe tag, but it does seem that as far as my research went, we kind of lost the art of the toe tag from the Egyptians for quite a while, for hundreds of years. Without toe tags, identification of the dead was very inconsistent. And this is, why we have so many. We still have with toe tags, and I'll get into modern toe tags, like we still have mix-ups,
Yeah.
People get buried wrong, cremated wrong, the whole thing. Before the modern toe tag, bodies were typically identified just like the good old-fashioned way, through family recognition, sometimes just through word of mouth, sometimes from their belongings or their clothing. There wasn't like a really good system to identify a body. Hospital staff would sometimes even just like mark a body directly or pin a label to the clothing. But as we know, shit happens and things get removed during preparation, or marks could be washed off during the prep. So like really, a toe tag was incredibly important. I was interested in, like, you probably know this, Spence, just like looking through newspaper articles, how many instances it's like unknown male or unknown female. And I think about like, oh, a toe tag probably could have solved that, to keep track of our dead.
I mean, assuming they had been treated as a dead body.
Yeah, totally. But
we're not just walking around with toe tags on.
Well, okay, that actually brings me to the Civil War, which I know we've done episodes on the Civil War. I know that we've talked about how things really started to change in the funeral industry because of the Civil War. Like, I think you covered the episode on how the Civil War really led to like modern embalming.
Yes.
Because we had to have a way to transport a body long distances that was, that died during battle.
Modern embalming and the rise of occultism and mysticism. We have a lot that came from the Civil War.
Why that again?
Or spiritualism. Because so many people were dying in such mass amounts, a lot of people were looking for some sort of solace at the time.
Yeah.
And so they turned to spiritualism in hopes of being connected with their loved ones.
Oh,
on the
wow.
other side. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. What I didn't know is that there were people called field embalmers who would literally like set up a tent and embalm on the battlefield. There's an article from history.com that says, quote, embalmers became a familiar sight near encampments and battlefields. Many were not physicians, but tradesmen who saw opportunity in tragedy. They pitched tents close to battle sites and offered soldiers the chance to prepay for their own embalming should they be killed.
Interesting.
I know. It goes on. Families also paid steep prices for their services. Over the course of the war, Holmes claimed he had embalmed 4,000 men at $100 per corpse. He even marketed his own embalming fluid, selling it to fellow practitioners for $3 per gallon.
Wow. An entrepreneur.
But the scarier thought than being killed during battle and being embalmed on the battlefield, specifically for a soldier, was the thought of dying and being unidentified. Like, how will my body get back to my family? Will my family ever know? And I read somewhere, and I can't remember where or if this is accurate, but during the Civil War, there are still like 5% of bodies that are unidentified and unclaimed.
I'm sure.
It was a real fear for soldiers. They would literally pin notes to their uniforms. It makes me sad. They would pin notes to their uniforms and write their names on paper and like keep them in their pockets. Speaking of your pocket episode that you did a few weeks back, like I'm sure in soldiers' pockets there were a lot, their names and they might have had actually these things I want to talk about next. This is from the National Museum of Civil War Medicine. It says, quote, the soldiers and their families took matters into their own hands. When leaving home, a soldier would often be given a coin or a bit of lead or copper to carry with them that had been engraved with their name. So obviously, I think that kind of transitioned into like what we know of as a dog tag. But I bring that up because it is such an important thing to be identified properly after you die. In the later 1800s, we start to see toe tags emerge. This was because cities were starting to industrialize. There were hospitals and morgues, and because death was no longer really being handled in the home, like in the family room, but instead inside institutions. This meant there were multiple bodies in one place, lots of movement. So this is when we start to see early versions of a toe tag, handwritten on paper or cardboard and attached with a string or like sometimes twine, still kind of flimsy though, and then tied to the big toe. And I was also wondering, I was like, why the big toe? Like, why specifically? Like, I want a good answer for that. And in most cases, the big toe is the prime spot because it is the most like out of the way place, like during an examination. It doesn't interfere with an autopsy most of the time or any embalming or like body prep. As we evolved, we start to see the toe tag become a little more formal. Maybe now it had like a case number attached to it. And then we start seeing not just names, but more identifiers like I was talking about earlier. And then as morgues progressed, the materials start to evolve. So instead of a paper tag, now it may be wax coated because of moisture. And then the string got a little stronger. And then eventually we got plastic tags, things that were completely waterproof. And then came a pre-printed tag in the later 20th century. I was looking up, and I'll get to the 90s in a second because that's when things, that's the future. That's when things got more technical. But I found this it's like a little excerpt in the newspaper from 1976, the Ironwood Daily Globe, and it says, "Employees identified by toe tags. Detroit. When the employees of the Wayne County Morgue held their annual Christmas party this week, nobody had any trouble telling who was who. For name tags, the partygoers used toe tags, the paper tag attached to corpses' toes to identify them. The morgue staffers, however, chose to wear their tags on their lapels and not their toes."
I love that. Reminds me of, one of the shows we did, a few of the venues got so creative with things, but I think one of them had like a toe tag drink.
Yes.
Remember?
I love that.
That was cute.
It's so cute. Okay, so now we get to the 90s. Toe tags with barcodes started to be implemented. And in 1993, Dade County was implementing this. And I was laughing at how many newspaper articles there were about this, that wrote all about this. Also, in 1993, I'll get to that newspaper article. But in 1993, the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office had a gift shop, which I would love to know if they still have one. But they sold personalized toe tags for $4 to people. They raised a bunch of money for people, like MAD, like MAAD or whatever.
Mothers Against...
Oh, MADD. Yeah, they stage the drunk driving, the car at the high school.
Uh-huh.
Well, people that I think it was between the age of 16 and 21 who got DUIs had to go to the morgue and see a body that died of drunk driving or from a drunk driver. So that was selling toe tags and other things in the gift shop raised money for that program.
Got it. That's cool.
Yeah. Okay. So this article from the Miami Herald 1993, I won't read all of it, but it says morgue adds barcodes to toe tags. And it goes and says a computerized scanner can read all kinds of information from the coded lines: the deceased name, age, sex, race, case number, toxicology lab results on blood, and other fluids. That's the point. With more information and another step in a body checkout, the fewer chances for a screw up. And it goes into losing a body and how there have been 3 times in the 37-year history of Dade's medical examiner office where they have misplaced bodies or switched them up or, got something wrong. They talk about a couple instances. There's one instance, it says, several years ago, the medical examiner's office received 2 bodies of tiny elderly females on the same day. For one, next of kin was in California, for the other, Germany. With an order from the California family, a funeral home attendant picked up the remains and placed them in a casket. The next day, the German consul in Miami asked for the remains of the second woman. The morgue couldn't find her. For days, people looked. Finally, they pinpointed the problem to the removal of the first elderly woman. It appeared that the 2 bodies could have been stacked atop one another. They would weigh so little that the attendant could have thought it was one person. The county exhumed the remains and found 2 bodies. Afterward, the coroner... So they buried two people on top of each other. Okay,
wild.
First of all. Afterward, the coroner posted a large sign in English and Spanish. Attention, all employees of funeral homes and body removal services. It is your responsibility to check before removing a body. The name, valuables, and personal property records form correspond with toe tags on the body. The sign put in writing a key fact. It's the funeral home's responsibility to get the right body. And then it goes on. For several years, there were no problems until the one-legged corpse. A funeral home driver arrived one day 3 years ago and began joking with the medical examiner worker. The driver signed out the wrong body. He had the right last 2 digits on the toe tags. The first 2 numbers were wrong.
Toe tags. Toe tags.
Important. Lastly, I came across another way of identifying the body, which is the electronic toe tag. So after Hurricane Katrina, I guess traditional body ID methods completely broke down. And I mean, come on, that was such a tragedy and
Yeah.
so many bodies. So officials introduced electronic toe tags, which were tiny microchips, like about the size of a grain of rice. So like, you know, you get your dog microchip.
Yeah.
It's like that. But it had a unique ID number. And these chips would be implanted into the body or attached to the clothing or placed in body bags. But it would like link to a digital file that investigators could, you know, update with x-rays and dental records and just other identifying info, which I thought was very cool. You just go and scan the body. I know, and I say all of this history is very general. I know different places do different things. I know in hospitals specifically, I think they have like wristbands and there's different things. And then also when you're cremated, I read that there's usually metal cremation ID bars or ID discs that are like metal that go into the cremator with you and they survive the cremation, but that identify a person. So there's definitely different methods, but
yeah, but I feel like the toe tag's so classic.
So classic and so important, really.
Yeah.
Like, I wish we knew everybody and could identify everybody, but I couldn't imagine, especially after a tragedy, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, the toe tag is the GOAT.
She's got a history.
She's got a history.
I love it. Well, my obituary this week, I think, will go down in history as one of my faves.
Oh.
I stayed on theme. It says Birmingham Evening Mail, Wednesday, October 9th, 1895. Worried to death by a wig.
Okay.
Dean Smith would no more have thought of visiting Stella without a wig than he would of writing a landatory poem on the regicides. When Tom Jones of Roderick Random could not take his wig out of pawn, he sternly remained indoors, for without the flowing locks of another man's hair, no person of any consequence in those days would have ventured to submit himself to the gaze of his fellows. Ideas have changed since then. Rather than appear in the streets with a wig on his head, William Francis Mattingly, cabinet maker, 18 years of age, of Shoreditch, put an end to his life. For some cause, his hair fell off, and he became bald. A doctor told him it would grow again, and in the meantime, his mother bought him a wig.
Aww.
He wore it, but as he was of a sensitive disposition, the feeling grew upon him that everybody knew the hair was not his own.
Oh.
If he saw two men whispering in the street, he felt one was saying to the other, "That fellow there is wearing a wig."
Oh,
and
no.
even at his meals, he wore his hat to hide what he regarded as his shame. He could not face the world bald, and he could not face it with a wig. So he resolved to the difficulty by absorbing prussic acid.
Oh, no.
Before taking the poison, he wrote the following note. Ever since I have worn that cursed wig, everything has gone wrong. It seems a ton weight on my head. The inquest took place yesterday, and the jury thought the young man was laboring under temporary insanity. He was, in fact, worried to death by a wig.
Poor guy.
It's crazy. I feel so bad for him, but I'm also like, this newspaper is shady as fuck for reporting on it. Because imagine your biggest insecurity.
True.
You take your own life, and then they're like, he thought everyone was talking about it. And
he took his own life because he was wearing a wig.
wig. Yeah, imagine you die because and then it's like, worried about wig kills a man.
Yeah.
God.
I also think it's crazy they said his hair fell off.
Crazy.
His out.
His hair fell off, thus he was bald. Crazy.
Girl, your hair fell off.
Girl.
Damn.
Fell off.
All right, I'm on theme 2.
Okay.
And you're going to love this because you did a full episode on this specific thing. Let me get into it. Donald Wesley Cook died on September 22nd, 2025 in Madrid, Iowa. Don was a survivor of the tragic July 6, 1944 Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus fire in Hartford, Connecticut, also known as the day the clowns cried. Don's younger brother, Edward, was one of the 169 people who perished in that blaze. His mother was so severely burned that she spent 6 months in the hospital. His younger sister, Eleanor, not identified at the time, was remembered for many years as Little Miss 1565, which was the number on her toe tag. In 1991, an arson investigator re-examined the evidence and determined her identity. Her body was then moved from Hartford to the cemetery in Southampton, Massachusetts, where she was buried next to her brother.
Why was she known as her toe tag number?
I know. I don't
Was she,
know.
like, displayed as a deceased person?
I have no idea, but Little Miss 1565.
Girl.
I know. Sad. It's crazy hearing about that whole episode you did was so interesting. But then knowing someone just passed away and a couple months ago from that incident feels so long ago.
That is crazy. That is wild. Oh, God. Well, speaking of, we got some more wild stories for you. We have spun in our coffins.
We have bitched our obituaries.
Means it's time for some dumb
ass
criminals.
Who do you got?
Mine is from CBS19.TV, and the headline reads, "Woman stole wig off of body at East Texas funeral home."
Oh, God. Okay. What year?
2025, baby.
What?
Quote, Tyler, Texas. A woman was arrested this week for allegedly stealing the wig off the body of a dead woman at an East Texas funeral home. Tanya Annette Boyd, 55, was booked into Smith County Jail on a theft of property from a human corpse or grave in connection with an incident at a Tyler funeral home that was reported on May 23rd.
Damn.
The funeral director told police that on May 22nd, Boyd came into the preparation room and removed a wig from the head of a deceased woman. The director said Boyd had been told to leave earlier that day. Another employee said they saw Boyd with the wig later that day. An arrest affidavit said. On May 23rd, the director noticed the deceased woman was missing the wig that was meant to be on her head for the funeral. The document read, all employees reportedly knew what Boyd looks like because of several contacts with her over the years. The officer wrote in the affidavit that Boyd is known to be a transient who uses multiple drugs. She has been involved in several criminal acts around the funeral home, including theft. So this bitch doesn't even work there, okay? She's fucking lurking, and she just walks in and
sticky fingers.
Then is seen with the wig. She remains in the Smith County Jail on a $75,000 bond and was also booked in on prior public intoxication charges, records show.
Got it.
No wig in that picture. Clearly.
Yeah.
God.
Sneaky girl.
Girl, you don't steal a wig from a body, girl. She needed it for her funeral.
And then wear it. You gotta steal the wig and then dye it, give it a little haircut, and then wear it maybe a couple days later.
Like, wait till the funeral's over. Get your shovel. You gotta work for that wig.
You do.
Go dig her out and then take the wig.
Wigs are expensive.
They are.
They really are if you want a good one. Oh my God. Okay. Well, I have another menace from June 25th, 2025. This is from Fox 35 Orlando. Polk County, Florida. A Florida woman is facing a long list of charges after she allegedly attacked and tried to bite a man, ran away, and then crashed into a deputy's car. It says, investigators with the Polk County Sheriff's Office said 37-year-old Samantha Coulter of Lakeland showed up at a man's property, climbed over his chain link fence, and attacked him. As she should, even trying to bite him. She then fled the scene. This is what makes me laugh. A short time later, deputies said the man left the property to get food, but received a phone call from someone saying that Coulter had returned. The caller also said Coulter had used her car to crash through the man's fence before then fleeing again. Okay, but get this. Officials found Coulter's white 2017 Cadillac and attempted to stop her on Fletcher Avenue in Lakeland. A relative of Coulter's had also arrived at the scene and yelled for her to get out of the car, to which Coulter replied, "Why? This is fun."
Oh, she's having the time of her life.
and she owes it all to him. Okay. Authorities said Coulter then tried to drive through a ditch to get past a deputy's car. When that was unsuccessful, she allegedly intentionally backed into another deputy's car and sped away. Her car was blocked in again at the West Caribbean restaurant, and deputies said she refused to get out of the car. Officials then assisted Coulter out of her car and into a deputy's car. Coulter was able to get out of the handcuffs, so authorities pulled her out of the deputy's car, re-handcuffed her, and put her back into the patrol car.
Damn.
So no deputies were injured. One patrol car was damaged, and the car she was driving, which was her grandmother's. So.
It reminds me of, okay, not funny at all, but remember The Perfect Neighbor, that Netflix documentary? The body cam one? Okay, crazy fucked up story. Fuck that bitch. But the part I laughed out loud when she had been responsible for ramming that guy's fence. I was like, she is fucking crazy. And then they come and interview her and they're like, did you leave the house? And she's like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't leave the house today. And they're like, really? Because we have your plates on camera that your truck was ramming open this fence. She's like, oh, yeah, I was there, but he locked me in. And then she's like, I was raped once. It's like, what are you talking about?
She's crazy. All that body cam footage.
Girl, that story's so fucked up. If you guys haven't seen it, watch at your own risk. It's called The Perfect Neighbor. It's on Netflix. It is the most infuriating thing you'll watch ever.
Yeah. I think it was Oscar nominated or something.
It was. I cried.
Really? I don't even know if I have watched it all the way through, to be completely honest, because before it came out, I watched all the body cam footage of it. And I do remember like hearing the kids talk was so sad, like on the body cam footage, and then their mom got like.
You haven't watched it all the way through then, because I don't cry at most things, and I was like,
really?
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay. Damn.
So that's that. That's our recommendation if you want to cry today after this. But
yes.
Also another recommendation is DTF St. Louis. I'm watching that right now and I like it.
Okay, but before you watch anything else, you guys, Spencer has never seen the fucking Notebook and he needs to see it. And you guys need to harass him.
Maybe I'll
watch it.
Maybe I'll watch it. I'm not going to watch it. Well, okay.
Don't watch it alone.
I was going to say maybe I'll watch it this weekend.
I cry every time.
I know. Olivia brought it up this weekend. She's like, oh, this neighborhood reminds me of this part of the Notebook or something. And then I was like, she's like, you haven't seen it? What?
It's crazy. You know, when Cisco and I first started dating, you're going to laugh because we do not look like them at all. But we went to this restaurant and the waitress, she was working for her fucking tip. She goes, oh, you guys remind me of the couple in the Notebook. He's got to go. His wig. His hair's falling off.
Well,
yeah.
I'll watch the Notebook and be the judge of that myself.
Look at me.
We'll see the rest of you next week. We'll be back next Thursday for some more coffin spinners,
obituaries,
and dumb
ass criminals.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.